Rose from the Painted Toad. Happy Friday night. I had some paint left over from my painting class that I just did, my youth painting class, my pocket painting group. And so I thought I'd just jump on and teach you how to make some messy roses, kind of like my little Sheldon sheep here. So I'm actually teaching Sheldon in a few weeks if you're interested. But let's go ahead and use up my paint. So we're going to start with a round brush, and I'm going to come into some light pink. And the light pink I'm using tonight, I'm just using some craft paint tonight. So this is baby pink. This is baby pink by Folk Art. Nothing fancy. And I'm just going to use up what I have on here. And I also have some really pretty teal and green already mixed up. I am going to add a bit more of the pink though, because I was good about that. I didn't put too much on there. We're going to just do a base coat, and I'm just going to do some circles here. I'm using a round brush, and I'm just going in a circle. Got a lot of shine on there. I just changed out my lights and stuff, so let me know what you think of the lights, if it's looking good or not. Hey Sharon, hello, hello. Yeah, I just redid all. I've had lights for a long time here on my. I ordered them like, I don't know, 6 weeks ago, and I finally got them put up the other day. So, hi, Cindy. Ooh, we got 7 people watching. Hey, if you're watching, say hi so I know who's watching me tonight. So I can personally say hello to you. And this is just a little quickie. A little quick painting, using up the rest of my paint. Of course, I'm grabbing more paint. I'm not going to lie. I'm adding a little bit more paint, but I want to use up my greens because they're super, super duper pretty. And I hate to waste paint. I don't know about anybody else. Anybody else like that? Do use your extra paint when you have leftovers. I'm going to do yellow here. Let's just kind of do just a bunch of flowers here. I think that would be real pretty. Since my name is Rose, I think it's appropriate that I teach you how to do some rosettes here. We can do some little, like a bunch here. Now, I don't usually like to do groups in 4s like this. We need an odd number. So I'm going to do another little one. Maybe we'll put a little bud over here. Let's do a little bud. Do a little yellow bud over here. And then let's go back into some pink. Just drawing my brush here. Let's do, I'm going to do a smaller one over here. We'll just get some balance. This is just kind of playing around. I don't know if y'all have a mixed media pad, but it's a great tool for just playing around with your paints, trying out your brushes, trying out different things. So I use my mixed media pads a lot when I'm trying new things and designing things. I'm going to add a pink right in here. Another small rosette. And we may change up the color scheme on that one too. All right, once I have those in, I'm going to come in here with a round brush again. Let me see what I got soaking here. This one's probably a good size. So just like this. This one's kind of cruddy. I might need to retire that one. It's a little bit bent, probably from me leaving it in the water too long. If you're watching, this is Rose from the Painted Toad. I'm just doing a quick tutorial on making little rosebuds and some leaves. So I like to take the round brush, and I like to start with like a little curlicue in the center, and then I just kind of sweep around and just do these little, these are just messy little roses. So this is not like, you know, a fancy perfect roses. Oh, you did. You did some mixed media. I'd love to see it, Cindy. What did you make? What did you make on your 8x10 canvas? I love doing mixed media stuff. This is just paint, but I do mixed media sometimes in my Painter's Pond membership. And I have another one this time around. So those of you that are interested in maybe just, you know, getting a fun surprise every month, I have the Painter's Pond Dockside. So I call it the Pond Dockside. And it is one painting a month. It comes to your inbox. You get the supply list, you get the full tutorial, and then you have the whole month to paint it. So, oh, hi, Kiki. Welcome. So if you like to paint, but you don't have a lot of time to paint, that's an option for you. But in my Painter's Pond, I do 2 full live tutorials like this. We also have a Zoom meeting every month where I do a Q&A on different techniques or different, and we kind of play around in that. So we'll do different explorations. We've done color explorations, we've done paintbrush type explorations, and it's kind of fun. Um, so those are both of my memberships, and they're open now until this Sunday at midnight, and then I'm closing the doors again for a time, so I don't keep them open all the time. Um, the pond dock side will open monthly though, so that one's a little bit different than my big membership, my Painter's Pond. So that one I will open up once a month. Um, Now what I'm using is just a little bit of coral, and I'm going to do the same thing to my yellow flowers, where I just do the swirl, and I'm just kind of just doing these little arcs, these messy little arcs here. And you could use an orange, you can use all sorts of, different color combinations on here. I'm going to add several layers to get it to look interesting. These little buds here, I'm just kind of doing a little swirl on the end, and then just kind of coming up here with the bud. So you can kind of decide how you want that to look. All right. So while those are drying, we're gonna add more layers to those. I'm gonna show you how to do some leaves. So with the leaves, I'm just gonna use an angle brush tonight. I have another dagger striper brush I love, and not everybody has that just laying around. So I'm gonna use an angle brush that's more common. And I'm just gonna use a bit of dark green here. So let me pull in some dark green, and we're going to do this shape. So the angle brush is like this. It's flat and it's got an angle. And then I just like to take this, and you can kind of create the shapes of the leaves just like this. Now you got to be careful if your paint's still wet here. So I'm going to just kind of work on the side here. It's like two little parentheses there, and then you just kind of fill that in. Just pull it in like that. And this is just a fun painting exercise. Hey, Tara. Hi, Jessica. Yes, I am live. I am live, Jessica. I had extra paint left over. I was painting Sheldon the sheep with my youth painters, and I had some extra paint left over, so I thought I'd just pop on and do a quick little tutorial on doing rosebuds and leaves, and talk a little bit about the Painter's Pond and the pond dock side that are open right now. So, and if you have any questions about either of those memberships, let me know. Put the questions in the comments, or if you'd like the link, put pond in the comments and I will give you a direct link so you can read. Like, I have a whole information page on it, so you can read a little bit about what's included and all that kind of stuff. For example, the little Sheldon the sheep, my pond members, um, it was great. Oh, that's weird. Yeah, that's really weird. Um, my little Sheldon the sheep here, this one's coming up in May, and that's actually not in the pond. This is one I'm teaching, but my pond members got a big discount on that one. And sometimes I just, throw things in there for free. So it just depends on what I have available. Let's see. I'm going to pull in, so I'm going to use a round brush here. Yeah, that's so weird. It was gray, Jessica. I don't know. Nope, I'm totally live right now. It is 8:16 p.m. Eastern, and I am live on Friday, the 13th of May. So I'm just going to use my round brush and pull in some little sprigs here. And you know what? Let me show you something. Sometimes it is actually easier to use an angle brush to get these thin lines than a round brush. So if you struggle with your round brush, if it like gets too fat or something like that, you can use your angle brush. So the same one we use for the leaves, and you can actually kind of use the tip of it and get a really nice skinny line. See how nice that is? So that is an option if you struggle. Sometimes I struggle with my round brush. I'm better than I used to be, but when I first started painting, I really struggled because you have to control how much, um, you have to control how much, what am I trying to say? Pressure. That's the word I'm looking for. It's Friday, so I kind of run out of words at the end of the week. Um, so anywho, I'm gonna add just some little, let's just add, I'm just gonna use a round brush here and I'm just gonna add some little blobs here on these little sprigs. Just kind of pull the brush out. Doop, doop, doop. These are just super fun to do. If you're not painting with me right now, I didn't tell you I was painting tonight, but if you get time later, you can watch this replay. Just pull your paints out and just kind of play around and try this. You can even do this on a canvas. You could paint the background, a pretty color, and then paint these flowers right on a canvas, or really anywhere. You could do it on a piece of wood. I do a lot of glass painting. Got a couple of those in our pond as well. Yay! Oh, it's 6:18 in Idaho. Okay, Joanna. Hi! Joanna's in my pond, I believe. Joanna, this is just a fun little thing. I had extra paint, so I thought I'd throw it in. And we're just gonna pull these. I'm just doing little leafies here. Yeah, I was teaching I have pocket paintings group, and that's my youth painting group that I do. I do it on another platform called Outschool. So if you have young painters and they want to learn to paint, I do that all the time. And then I just thought I'd use up my extra paint here and paint something fun with you. All right, so we got some sprigs of flowers. We got the roses here. I'm going to come in, so I mix these colors. So this one right here is this light olive green, and I actually mixed it with white. That's why it's a lot lighter. And then this one right here, hi Maria, it's Viridian, which is kind of a teal, and that's mixed with white. So that's how I made those two colors. You can see I got a bunch of different colors left. Do you use glass paint or acrylic paint when you paint in glass? So there are special acrylic glass paints. There's a couple different kinds you can use, and I usually use craft paint for painting on glass, Joanna. That's a great question. I'm not painting on glass tonight, but when I do, um, I will either use specific glass enamel paints, or Folk Art has this new multi-purpose, and that you can paint on wood, you can paint it on glass, you can paint it on a variety of things. So multi-purpose, or you can even get the little bottles and they say glass paint. In fact, I will show you a couple. Here's like Deco Art has it specifically, they call it glass paint. And you can find that in the craft aisle. And then Folk Art does these multi-surface, and they got the little thing on the top. See the little glass? I like Folk Art because they do the little pictures. I'm a visual person, so it's like I know I'm grabbing the right paint. And then there's also glass enamel paints. So you may see those as well. Let me see here. I've got, no, that's Dazzling Metallic. Okay, these are kind of, I think Folk Art has changed their style on the enamel, but it will say enamel. And a lot of times it'll have like a little picture of the glass on the top. So you'll see both of those. And that's always in the craft aisle. I don't know, I have not come across glass paints in the, sorry, I'm trying to put this back in here and it's not cooperating, in like the artist's paint aisle. So yeah, absolutely. They're lots of fun to paint, and they cure within, it says on the back, you can leave it to cure, or if it's just glass you're painting on, you can actually put it in your oven. And if you follow the directions on the back of the bottle, it will, you bake it in the oven, and that cures it and hardens it and, makes it permanent so it doesn't scratch off. So if you use regular acrylic, it'll just scratch off. It won't work very well. All right, I've got a very skinny little liner brush here, and I've got some white, and I'm just going to come in here, and these are messy roses, so I'm just doing some little arcs and swipe swirls here with the white. This is very similar to what I did with my barnyard bunch. They all had different flowers. Sheldon the sheep has these flowers too. I've got Petunia the pig. They're all on my website if you want to order those tutorials. Except for Sheldon. Sheldon's a live painting, but after I'm done painting him live, I will post him as a tutorial that you can order and paint whenever you want. So even if you can't attend a live class, you can always get the replays and then you can keep those. There we are. We'll just do this. Add a little white there. I always like to add maybe a touch of white here to my leaves. Not always, but on this one, this is what I've been doing. And it's just kind of fun to throw in some different color. Fun to be messy. You might add a touch on your little sprigs here. If you do a different background, like I just left the background white because I'm just messing around here. But if you did a different background, you could even do some white and add some baby's breath or something like that. That's always kind of a cool filler when you're doing a floral bunch. So this is something you could, you know, paint a vase and put it in a vase, or you can have fun and put this anywhere. All right, there's some white, and then let's do a little bit. I'm gonna do a little on my, I feel like the white might have got in the black a little bit. It's right next to my black here, so I feel like there's a little gray that got pulled in there. I'm gonna do these roses. We're gonna do lots of layers here. Pull this up. All right, and I'll just add a touch there. Okay, so there's the white. And now I'm going to go back and work into the teal. So the teal, I think I'm just going to add some teal right here on my green leaves, just to make it look interesting. So I'm just going to take this, it was Viridian. I'm just going to add it to the leaves. You could just kind of do these messy curves here like I'm doing. You could even get, you could use a, oh, what am I thinking of? My brain is not functioning tonight. Palette knife. That's what I want to say. Bear with me. My brain is on slow-mo tonight. You know, it'd be cute if we did some little blue flowers in here. Don't you think that would be kind of cute? I could totally add that in. Let's pull out a filbert brush. I'm pulling out all the stops for you tonight. See, this is just me playing and making stuff up as we go. This is what I love to do. So a filbert brush, I'll flip it over. It's flat, but it's rounded. It's got a rounded tip. So let's just put in some little blue flowers here. I mean, why not, right? I can do whatever I want. That's the thing. People worry too much about like getting perfect paintings and stuff. You can do whatever you want. It's paint. We lose that, you know, little ones. Like I used to be an art teacher, and kindergartners, first grade, they do whatever they want. They have so much fun with paint. When you get paint out, they're all like, paint! And that's how we need to be as adults. If you get too stressed about your paint, then you gotta reach back to your kindergarten roots, to those times when you were young and you just loved painting because you weren't afraid to create something. So that's what I do. I just kind of reach back and play. You really do have to play when you're painting. There, what do you think of those little flowers? They're kind of fun, aren't they? It's adding some variety to my little bunch of bouquet here. Let's layer some. 1, 2, 3, 4. I think we're good. We need any more flower? Maybe. No, I think that looks pretty balanced. Yeah, I'm gonna leave it. I could add more if I wanted to, but I'm gonna leave it. And we'll add some color to that in a second. So I'm gonna come in here and use some. Ooh, let's use some Tuscan red. This is really pretty. It's kind of a deep red. You could use a burgundy. You could just use plain red, and I'm going to take that liner brush in again, and I'm going to add some of this deeper red into my flowers here. They're getting very, like, I love texture. Those that have painted with me will tell you I love to do different textures and things like that. So these are very messy textured roses, okay? And this is just fun. This is the fun kind of stuff I like to do, and this is how I like to teach to paint. It took me a long time to realize that when you are an artist, it's all about discovering your own style and making things that make you happy. And this style makes me happy. If I try to be too realistic, it stresses me out because that's just not my style. And this is a great way like for beginners to learn because it helps you loosen up and you just kind of have fun with it and you don't worry too much about getting all the perfect details. That can slow us down as artists. There's nothing wrong with that. Some people are just amazing at doing realistic art, but for me, it's just not my style. And that's what they talk about when they're talking about an artist's style. It's the thing that makes you happy. Okay, so I'm going to do something different here. I don't know if you know this, but when you are working with green or other colors, if you add a hint of their complement to them, it actually is going to make it pop a little bit more. So I'm going to show you something. I'm going to take this same Tuscan red. I'm just going to add a hint of red to that leaf right there. Okay, so look at it compared to the other leaves. If you look here, it really just adds just this little bit of color and it pops. Okay, so that's just a little artist trick there. This is using, so red and green are complementary colors, and so when you add just a touch of color like that, it'll add variety and interest to your painting. Otherwise, it tends to look very flat. So you will see that I like to add lots and lots of colors to my paintings to give them some variety. We'll add a little red on these, just like that. Okay, almost done. We do need to do a little something to our flowers. I'm trying to think here. What should we do the center of these blue flowers? Maybe the coral would work really well because I've got a little bit of that left, and oranges complement a blue. So if we did coral, let's just see. I'm using the end of my paintbrush there. I'm just going to do a little dot there in the middle. These are just kind of some fun, funky colors. And I don't know if I might not like it when it's done, but I don't really care because I'm having fun here. So we can just see how it turns out and we'll go from there. I kind of like that. It helps the flowers pop a little bit. And then I think what would be nice is if we take a touch of yellow, and I'm just going to add a little yellow to each of those centers. Once again, throwing in a little bit more color here. There we are. And then I think what would look really cute is if we take some of that brilliant green. Oh, I didn't even throw that in yet. I haven't even brought that in. So I've got this really bright, it's almost like a minty green. I showed it to you earlier and then I didn't even add it in. So I'm going to add a little bit of that to my leaves. Just for more color. Lots of fun colors on here. And those of you, if you're in the painter's pond and you're watching, this is a great little exercise of playing around with paint. It's a good Friday night thing. Just play around with it, have fun. Nothing fancy. I call this painting on the fly. This is a Painted Toad exclusive. Painting on the fly. I love puns and alliteration and all those goofy things. So bear with me if you find that annoying. Sorry. That's just me. And then I'm going to take, isn't this colorful? I'm going to take a little bit of that green. Let's add a little green to these blue flowers. Whoa, that is a big blob. My paint's starting to get thick because it's drying here. What do you think? Do you like that little bit of green? Let's take a look. How's that look? I think it's okay. Let's just add a touch on each of these. Maybe give them a hint of white as well. We'll bring them out. using up my paint. So if you're interested, anybody watching, you can say hi. I'll say hi back. I'm Rose from the Painted Toad. I am live from my art studio in my cave. My family calls it my cave. I have a studio down in the basement my husband built for me. So they call it my cave, my art cave. And yeah, I'm from the Painted Toad online art studio, and I teach painting classes, and I have a painting membership that is currently open, the Painter's Pond. So if you're interested in learning a little bit more about my Painter's Pond membership, you like the style of painting I'm teaching tonight, check out my page, check out some of the other paintings I've done, check out my YouTube page, and put pond in the comments, and I will give you a link so you can read a little bit more about my Painter's Pond and what I have to offer. All right, there. I think that little bit of white, what do you think? Do you like it? These are kind of some fun, funky colors here. I feel like I need more green in the center here because, there just isn't any green there. So let's just kind of let's just put like a little leaf in here. So I'll bring some green there, kind of squeezed in from one of these other flowers. Maybe we'll have a little sprig coming this way. I'm just using my little liner brush. I switch back and forth between brushes. So I did these earlier with an angled brush, but right now I'm just being lazy and using the brushes I have right here available. There we are. Give it some color like the other ones. A little bit of teal. If I'm very gentle here, notice I'm going right on the wet paint here, but I'm not mixing. If you mix it, then it's going to turn a little ugly. But if you're real gentle, if you're kind of thick with the paint, you can blob it on there without it mixing too much. So the red might be tricky. Let's see if we can get, oh yeah, we got a touch of red in there. Beautiful. All right, that's a little better. Now we got a little green in the middle. Okay, I think that our roses have had a chance to dry, so I'm going to come in now with my liner brush. I'm going to add some black. So I'm going to come in here and just do a little bit of a black swirl. And you could decide that you like it how it is and you don't want to add any black, and that's fine. You do not have to add the black. It's just playing around and having fun with the design here. Adding the different colors. And I'm just doing arcs here. My black's getting a little bit dry. It's getting a little blobby. I was using my extra paint, so it's starting to blob up on me. It's like, it's done for the night. My paint is ready to be done. But I'm not. I was feeling creative, so here I am. Does everyone else like to paint flowers? Like, what's your favorite thing to paint? What do you like to paint? I paint a lot of birds. I love to do birds. Love to do landscapes. I do a lot of animals and things like that, like farm animals and stuff like that. Trying to think what else I love to paint. I do like to do flowers, pumpkins, natural things. I love natural things. I do a lot of nature stuff. There. What do you think? Do you like the black? Do you not like the black? I don't know if the color's coming off weird for you. It looks weird on my screen here, so I'm not sure how it's showing up on your screen. It almost looks a little bit green on my screen, but I promise you it is not green. It's actually black here. Oop, and I missed one in the middle. And we want to get our little rose here. And then I'm going to take just a tiny bit more of the black because I'm running out. Let's pull that up. And I'm just going to do a little edging here, maybe a little bit here. And this is like I said, fun, messy flowers. Playing around, doing my thing. Okay, what do you think? You like it? Yes! Add it to your mixed media pad, absolutely. This will be a fun one to do. And you can play around the colors too, you know, if you want to do different colors, you can totally do different colors. I'm going to try to get these little flowers to pop. I'm just going to give them a little black outline. I don't always outline, but this is just kind of the style of this particular floral design. It's just kind of messy, and you could use a paint pen if it was dry to outline if you want. Some people like to scribble with a paint pen and do fun stuff like that. Sometimes I do that too, but you can't do it on wet. You can't use a paint pen on a wet paint because then it'll just get the paint stuck on it, and then that gets frustrating because then it won't work for you. There. See how that little bit of black did help them to pop. So that looks pretty cool. And then I'm going to go back over this. I still have some yellow, and I do feel like some of my yellow and my pink, my original yellow pink. Hi, Donna. Yeah, this is just random. This was just me popping on random, Donna. This was not planned. This was just me having extra paint, and I just wanted to jump on and share. So that's what I'm doing. I'm just taking some yellow here and going back and adding couple more little arc layers here on my flowers. Kind of lose some of the yellow, so you can, this is a cool thing about acrylic is you can just go back and layer and add to it. So it's really cool. Acrylic is like that. As long as it's dry. Sometimes I do it when it's not dry. Sometimes I cheat. There we go. Trying to tone down that crazy little black line there that got in there. Doo-doo-doo. There. And then I'm going to go back in and just add a little more of the pink here. And you can do this as many times, like you can do as many layers as you want. Oop, my black is still wet, so it's pulling in. There. I will just take some of this magenta and just kind of pull right over that. There. And then if I want to go back, I can always touch it up. All right, let's see if we can just do a little bit of background. I still have some of this green and teal left, so I'm just gonna throw some of this on a palette knife, and let's just kind of play around with this background a little bit. Oh, sure, Anita. I'm so glad. Thank you. I love being on and showing you cool stuff. So I'm using a palette knife, and I'm just gonna scrape some of this color around here. I'm not gonna get up super close. It's just messy, just playing around with it. And that's that Viridian with white that I mixed. It was a Master's Touch Viridian, just kind of a tealy color. There we are. Sorry, my face is in the way here. I can actually zoom this back just a little bit. There you go. Then you can see a little bit more of it. So I'm just going to bring this in, bring some color. Just playing around with my different tools, using up my paint. This actually might turn out to be a pretty cool little painting. And if this is what I do, I'll put it in my mixed media, and if I like the way it'll turn out, I will actually then I'll try it on canvas. And I may modify a couple things. Like if one thing I didn't feel like worked really well, I'll try something different. But I'll do it on canvas if I have a design that I really like. So a lot of my designs start in the mixed media pad, and then if I like them, they will graduate to canvas. And I'm just having fun with our messy palette knife. And this is another great tip. Like if you've never tried palette knife, you don't have to be afraid to use your palette knife in the, oop, I pulled some black in there. Let's see what happens with it. Look at, get a little dirty on there. That's okay. Sometimes that happens, and then that's what Bob Ross always calls happy little accidents, because it's like, well, let's see how it looks. Might add a little dimension to it, right? There we go. And how about I take some of this green I've got left, and I'm just going to pull this in here. We'll have some fun. And this way I'm using up all my paints, and I have like a brand new composition that is really kind of interesting. Wouldn't this be fun to put in a vase? Like we could totally do a whole composition of a vase with the flowers, or we could do something else with it. I'm trying to think here. My brain is slow tonight. It's been a long, busy week. You know how it is by the time you get to Friday. I'm ready for my evening wind down, which usually involves watching some sort of show. Like right now I'm watching old episodes of Parenthood. Or is it The Parenthood? I can't remember. I haven't watched the series in a while, so I'm like, oh, I'll watch that. Because I'm in between things. There, that looks really cool. What do you guys think? That looks really fun. I like that. I like it a lot. Is there any other leftover paint I could add in here to add some interest? I have this gray and I have black. Could take a little bit of black and maybe just do a little black on our edges. Let's try that. It kind of mixes a little bit, almost turns a little gray. What do you think? Yes? No? Let me know. I'm just playing around. And you know, if I add this and I don't like it, well then if I do this later on a canvas, I just won't add the black. So it's all about experimenting and, you know, trying out different ideas, not being afraid. Have no fear. There. Oh, that looks kind of cool. Doesn't that look cool? All right. What do you think? Are we done? Does it look good? What do you think? What do you think? What if we did? Okay, I know I keep going on and on, but let's do, I got one other idea here. I'm going to do a little spritz. I love to do spritz. I talked about this a second ago. Let me just add a touch more white because my other white is sticking in the black there. So I like to do like the end of my paintbrush, and we can just add maybe like a little bit of spritz in here. You can also use a wood skewer, which is actually my favorite. I'm going to pull out my wood skewer. It's my favorite because I can use the big end or the little pointy end. And I just do my little dots. This is easier to do dots and things than it is with a brush, because you don't have to like worry about the amount of pressure and you won't get like a big ugly blob on there. So that's why I like to use a wood skewer, or you can use like a toothpick or even a pencil. If you use the end of a pencil, you can get little dots and things like that. So let's do this. We'll just add some little spritzies in here. Maybe I'll throw a little out here. I don't know if those will show up very well because we have such a light background. Spritzy, spritzies. It might be fun to throw in maybe some green spritz or some yellow and pink spritz into that background. We'll have to see. I'm going to do a little bit maybe in the center of these. How are we doing? Ooh, I've actually been painting for quite a while. I was only going to come on for like 10-15 minutes, but you know me, I get carried away. I will always, I have a tendency to keep going, going, going. Never want to stop. And let's take, I got this, I'm going to use this gray just because I need to use it up. Let me see. We'll just do, it's almost black, so it's not, you know, even though I'm saying it is dark gray, but it's probably going to look black on the screen here. Let's just do some little black dots in the center of those. Add some texture. Starting to get blobby on me. So I fixed that. I just put a little white dot in the middle of the blob. Yep, there we go again. More blobbing. Doot, 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 doot. Almost done. There we are. What do you think? If we did, I'm just going to see here if I did just a little bit. Got some green. Let's try the green out here. Maybe some little green spritz. Just to get some color out here. Love texture. Love color. Because the white's not really showing up on our background. So let's do some green. I'm using my leftover green here. Little dots. And then we could use a little bit of the yellow. Let's clean that off, throw some yellow in there, get some color. Oop. What do you think? Should I put this one on canvas? Thank you, Lynn. Oh, you're so welcome, Kiki. Thanks for watching. Oop, I got paper towel on here. My paper towel, like there's, you can tell it's like running, totally running out. That's when I know it's time to stop. It's like when I have no paper towel left. All right, we got the yellow, and then let's add some of that coral, because see how look how the coral really pops on that blue. Like I said, complementary colors. So orange and blue are complementary, and that's gonna pop because it's like the exact opposite. They're across each other from the color wheel on the color wheel, so they will complement each other. If you mix them, they turn brown. But if you just put them next to each other, they complement each other. It's like they give each other compliments. Oh, it's like, oh, blue, you're so pretty. It's like, orange, you're so pretty. Sorry, I'm weird and I have conversations with my paint. Put it on canvas. I think I will, Cindy. This one is a fun one. I might have to just, I might throw this one in the painter's pond, or I'll probably throw this one up on my YouTube page. So, all right. I think it's good. What do y'all think? I think that's a good, I used up most of my paint here. Use most of it up. So let's just do, let me just take my liner brush. Let's see if I can sign it. I always like do all these little details and then I go to sign it and it's like a big old blob. I'm like, it doesn't work. Let's see if I can sign it down here. I don't really have much of this left. So here's a trick. I'm gonna wet my brush so it's slightly damp. And then I go into my paint, and then that does help if you're trying to sign something or do some small little details. So let's see if I can manage tonight. Oh, nope, it's not going to cooperate. This paint is too dry. G O T T L E, and last letter is R. Sometimes I'll just put my initials. Sometimes I do my last name. There. All right. Thank you, Anita. So let me switch my camera back here. There we are. You can see the painting. That did turn out pretty cool. What a fun one. I'm so glad I used up my leftover paint. Now I have like white. I feel like I need to use the white for something, but well, I just bought some more white. So anywho, thanks so much for watching. Thanks for catching me live. I'm glad you caught me. If you're watching this later on the replay, remember, if you'd like more information on my Painter's Pond painting membership or the Pond Dockside, which is a surprise painting tutorial every month, just put Pond in the comments and I'll send you the link so you can get some more information. But I just am so glad you're here. Thanks so much for watching, and remember to be creative, be artistic, and get connected at the Painted Toad. Have a wonderful evening. Have a great weekend. I'll see you later.